everybody. How are you all doing? Today I'm going to be doing another educational ASMR video about Instagram ambassador scams. The infamous Instagram ambassador scam. So the reason I've chosen to do this is because within the last week I've had 3 of these sort of scam companies message me on Instagram. Not message me, I guess that offer to collaborate with me and for me to DM them to collaborate. A little fishy, but anyways, I knew of this sort of scam. I just sort of thought it was so 2017, like I've never experienced it for a while, and now I'm looking at it from a different angle. And I wanted to talk about the psychology behind the Instagram ambassador scams. I want to say this is more like my own observation, and there hasn't been much written about it. I mean, there's stuff written about why it's alluring and why a lot of people fall for it, but I want to kind of talk about the psychology of why a lot of people fall for it. And that does include some behavioral economics. At least I think so. Okay, so what is an Instagram ambassador scam? I want to get a good definition of this because there's so many different kinds of companies out there that are doing this sort of thing. There are legitimate ambassador programs on Instagram with legitimate companies. I want to stress that. Being an ambassador for a company is not necessarily does not mean that you're a part of a scam. This is quite different. I'm talking about these smaller companies. So how it usually goes is they comment on one of your photos and saying, "Oh, we'd love to collaborate with you. DM us." And what I've noticed is that there are quite a few accounts for this said company with different recruits, like people that were supposed to recruit you. And the reason that they don't message you right away is because I mean, my theory is that they're using a bot just to spam certain hashtags, spam certain accounts with that message, like DM us. Okay. So I did it. I DM'd this account, Rosore. I'll put them down below. Oh God, they're gonna hate me. Because they were so obviously scummy, like as a brand. First of all, I mean, this is not all, the scams are not all like this, but first of all, the pictures that they posted were not of ambassadors or of models. They were pictures taken from the internet of them wearing their products, so to speak. And it was funny, like if you go to the if you click ambassadors, you can't, like, most of the time you can't click on the link of the ambassador. So I have a feeling that it's that they don't really have that many ambassadors. But point being, to me, an Instagram ambassador scam would be one that would be a store that solely relies on selling to ambassadors rather than selling to actual clients at full price. Something that you were promised as an ambassador is that you get a discount code, and your friends can use a discount code, and then you get some money from that or commission from that, whatever. But here's the thing. So I went on this website, and their bags they're selling bags, usually bags, clothes, shoes, whatever. ridiculously high prices. Like, I mean, for what it was like $100 for a pretty average looking bag. Yeah, their price ranges for like $70 to $100, and I've noticed this on all of these sort of Instagram scammy websites. But they message you, and you message back, being like, "Oh, what do you mean collaborate?" or something like that. And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, we love your feed. If we could marry your feed, I would. Second I saw your feed, I came in my pants. Will your feed marry me?" Something along those lines. Maybe I'm being dramatic. But they're very, they tell you, "Oh yeah, you'd be perfect for us, perfect for this brand." And then you feel a sense of being special, right? Like, this company has, well, you've reached out to them, but they first reached out to you, right? I mean, I've had a case of a company reaching out to me as well. Like, I've had that too. But anyways, and then they're like, "Okay, so if you'd like to become an ambassador, we will give you a 50 to 70% discount on your first purchase." And you're thinking, wow, 70% discount on a $100 bag, or 50% discount on a $100 bag, whatever. That's only $50. Isn't that a little suspicious already? Now, why I'm saying this is because these companies do not intend to sell to actual customers. They intend to only sell to so-called ambassadors. And they make it seem quite exclusive. Sort of. Although once you get on their Instagram pages, it's very obvious how not exclusive it is. They're like, DM us if you want more information, and then they'll give you the code, okay? I don't know how well it works as a marketing strategy. So with this company was so rude, something like that, I replied back being like, "If you love my stuff so much, why don't you send it to me for free?" And then I explained how, like, you were selling this idea that, that people, so you feel like this urge of being special, like you're gonna get this huge discount for things that are expensive, and that's what happens in our heads when we see sales, right? So when we go to a store and we see a top that's, I don't know, $20, and it's marked down to $10. If it's a shirt that you may not have even bought for $10, but you saw that it was $20 already, you're still more likely to buy it because you're like, "Oh, it's a $20 shirt, but I'm getting it for $10. It could even be a false sale, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're selling false sales. So they wrote back to me and they said, because I first asked if I could get free shit, and then they said, "Maybe one day, dear, we're going to start with 50% off." And I was like, it's a nice touch, because you're never getting free shit from them. You're never ever getting free shit from them. Another promise that a lot of these companies make is that if you, take selfies with their products or whatever, then you can be featured on their wide social network of people. Wide social network of people. So like for example, this one had a 20,000 following, but it was very obviously fake followers, and yeah, like that's not a really real promise. Further investigation onto that website, I saw that they were like, "Oh, maybe if you're an ambassador, we can travel you to different countries to show our products, blah blah blah," and that's just a damn lie, right off the bat. And I'll tell you how I know it's a damn lie right off the bat. So at this point, you're feeling pretty special, and you're thinking that you might have an opportunity to grow your following, or to travel, or to get paid, or something like that. All you have to do is like first buy into one of their products. I don't think the main thing here is about making money. I think I don't think that's where they're trying to get at. It's more like you trying to promote yourself on social media, but just having to pay a small price to do it. But you have to pay to advertise the brand, which is not so bad in itself, but when the whole thing is about getting people, because the price that they list on their website is not the price they expect anybody to pay. They do not expect anyone to pay $100 for those bags. So there's that element. And then there's the other element where they use something called drop shipping. And I don't know if drop shipping is a scam. I always question whether drop shipping is a scam. I think that it depends on the way you do it. So what drop shipping is, it's a way to sell products from websites such as AliExpress, Alibaba, like cheap Chinese products. Like AliExpress is like the Amazon of China. That's what they call it. But I mean, everybody kind of uses it. It's these cheap quality products, you know, and without having a stock. So these companies, they work with, a lot of the times they work with this website builder called Shopify. And Shopify allows you to put products from AliExpress or from Alibaba, these cheap websites, into your website. And when the person clicks purchase, so in this case, this was a drop shipping website. I'll tell you how I figured that out, but it was a drop shipping website. The purchase automatically goes from your AliExpress or Alibaba account to, like, you purchase it, and then it sends off to the customer, and you don't have to deal with anything. This one this example for to give you an idea, I found one of their bags was listed for like $79, and I found it on AliExpress for $3 to $5, including shipping, I believe. If it didn't include shipping, it was like $2 shipping. Anyways, very, very, very cheap. And so they would have to pay the $5 to $7 whilst getting that massive profit. Now, I see no problem with getting profits. Don't get me wrong, but it's the deception of how they're doing it. That's saying that this is their own product line, saying that this is, you know, luxury brands. Like that's what it said. And this company in particular also upset me, because when I pointed out to them that I saw their products on AliExpress for much cheaper, they said to me, they were nice. Like I was expecting like anger or just to be blocked, but you know, they kept it going. They said that the AliExpress products were fake or imitations of their products, which I couldn't, guys. I went a little into it, and then I went on like a registrar.com, a website where you can see when a domain name has been registered and by who. And I saw that their domain name was registered less than a year ago. Well, those products on AliExpress have been around for many years. So those aren't your original products. That pissed me off too, because it was just like lie after a lie. I don't have a problem with drop shipping if what you're doing is buying a product. So I know really good drop shipping, like drop shippers, I heard of them. You know, they buy the product first, not in wholesale. They just buy the one product, and then they see how it is, and then they try, like, you know, they'll have models maybe take pictures with them or with the product and advertise it differently, and still use the drop shipping method. That I don't think is as much of a scam, because they're literally just advertising a company as you would do in a retail business. The reason I find the Instagram ambassador scam a scam is because of the fake promises that they give to their ambassadors. If your selling point, if you mainly are selling to people who are ambassadors, then that is not a legitimate business, and it sounds incredibly exhausting. So you're making people pay a bunch of money thinking that they've gotten a discount, because I would feel pretty special. And then it also makes you feel kind of cool, like, oh, they picked me, like I I have a chance of, my Instagram has some sort of chance of, it attracting certain attention. I don't, of being an influencer. And then you get, your products a couple of weeks later and they're not good quality, and you still feel kind of bad, so you post about it, but you're not going to make any money off of it because they really want everyone to be an ambassador. On the website of this company I'm talking about, and when you went to the ambassadorship program, it said that you needed a personal ID. All you need to do is message them on Instagram. Yeah, so that was kind of my take on it. I thought it was really interesting, just like the psychological effect it has on you to see to get that special price for something, and then sometimes they have an urgency. I remember there was one that was sent to me, I think 3 years ago, 3 years ago, for shoes, and I actually don't know if they were drop shipping or if they made their own products, but there was no way they were selling those products. Like, the price that they listed was what they were supposed to be selling. There was no way. Maybe it was a way for them to kickstart their business, I don't know, but they were selling like $200 shoes. They didn't look that great, and whatever. And they offered me a 70% discount off the bat, and that was for my personal Instagram, and I'm like, what, I have 700 followers? Really? Your shoes are probably pretty shit if you can sell them for that little to me. So that's something, I guess, to look out for. But I did remember, it was before I thought it was a scam. I was like, ooh, I think I'm pretty and special, like me. And they said that I had only 14 days to claim it. And then once I realized the 14-day thing, I'm like, oh, they're putting a time limit. That's a very common thing to do. So I, after 14 days, I messaged them again, being like, oh, can I have another code? It expired, and they just kept messaging me codes every 14 days. Like, it didn't matter to them. But the time limit does seem like rushing. It does seem like, ooh, I want to get a part of this. I want to be on the first ground in on this. And the fact that it's a startup also might intrigue you. So I asked my mom, like, what would the economic term be for something like this, like being tricked in this way? And she just called it marketing. She just called it marketing. You do your due diligence and you see, but it is a form of marketing, this ambassadorship scams. Like, they're marketing themselves as trying to make people feel special, but then the false promises that they don't guarantee, but they're still false premises. That's shitty. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Or another drop shipping thing that's being done, and this one I don't think is as much of a scam. This was more in 2017, 2018, where you would see it on your Instagram page, like, free watch. Just pay for shipping and handling, and then you're like, cool, free watch. And then you just have to pay $10 for the shipping and handling, and it's the same idea. You're just putting it for free, but then your $10 is what's the shipping and handling. That's what you're paying for the product. That I don't think is as scammy because it's like $10, and I think if you're getting a free watch, you kind of know what you're paying for, and they don't have that whole like, oh, you're special kind of thing. Like, they just have it as, oh, this is a sale. Another thing these sites love to do is at the bottom, they love to be like, someone from Oklahoma just bought blah blah blah, someone blah 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 blah, just blah 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 blah. Limited availability. There's no limited availability. And AliExpress has profited an awful lot of this. They love drop shipping their products. You know, if you are a drop shipper and you want to sell, you just have to put in the request, I'm drop shipping, and AliExpress will take out their tags from the postage. Because they make money off of it too. It's a win-win in that sense. But when we're talking about Instagram ambassador scams, which have false promises, that's when it gets a little iffy. So I just thought that was a pretty interesting thing. I don't think it's a dangerous scam in that sense. I think you can I don't think it's very manipulative. I just think it shows a really interesting side of our ego and our psychology. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not as informative as my other ones, but I still thought it was pretty interesting. Good night.